I've said it once, and I'll keep saying it, the Trails series means so much to me. So today, I wanted to hop on a trend started by a friend of mine named Yuuyuu. That trend being the One Miraculous Moment, which is inspired by the One Marvelous Moment trend from a few years ago. Before we begin, however, I would ask that you go and check out the original video by Yuuyuu, and maybe subscribe to him while you're at it. He's a great guy and an absolutely positive impact on the community. I'd also like to thank him for starting this trend where people can share their love for this wonderful series. If you want to add to this trend as well, I encourage you to do so. Please share the love you have for this series. Lastly, before I begin talking about my miraculous moment, full spoilers for the series up until and including Cold Steel 2. With all of that out of the way, let's get right into it. The moment I am picking for my One Miraculous Moment is the ending of Trails of Cold Steel 2. Technically, it's 3 moments, but they happen back to back to back, so don't worry about it too much. These scenes take place at the end of the epilogue, and see Class 7 and some of their allies investigate the mysterious changes to the old schoolhouse that resemble what happened at the end of the previous game. At this point, Class 7 is down, to say the least. They may have played a part in ending the Civil War, while rescuing the Crown Prince and stopping a corrupted Divine Knight from stealing the life force from everyone in the capital and going on a rampage, but they weren't really victorious. Osborn turned out to be alive the whole time, and it quickly became apparent that even the war itself might have been just one small part of his plan. Add into that the fact that Crow, the classmate they tried so hard to get back, sacrificed himself so that Rean could finish off the Vermilion Apocalypse, and yeah, while Class 7 was victorious in their fight, it's hard to say that they really won. This all coming at the tail end of an emotional high for the class after they liberated Trista, united the school, and rescued their family members, only led to the fall being much harder on them. Fast forward a few months to spring and we reach the epilogue. The school year for Thors is ending, and we quickly learn what happened to the members of Class 7 between the epilogue and the finale. For their contributions during the war, the members of Class 7 get to graduate early, with only Rean choosing to stay on for his second and final year. The other members decide to pursue their own goals and paths in life. It is from here that the epilogue follows the same formula as the start of each chapter in Cold Steel 1, with having a normal after-school day and a free day. But something is different in the air. Thors has changed, and so has its students, especially Class 7. The mostly happy times they spent together during their first year are gone, and there's no true way to go back. I think this is why most of the Class 7 members, including Sarah, decided to leave. Not just because they felt like they could make more of a difference outside of Trista, but also because it would have been too painful to stay. And then there's Rean. After the revelation of his birth in the finale, we learn that Rean was essentially made into a false hero who ended the war, and is used as a weapon along with his Divine Knight to occupy Crossbell and turn it into an Imperial territory. We also learn that this decision was made in part by Rean himself in order to minimize casualties and damages during the occupation, something that mirrors his internal conflict after being presented with a similar offer by the Noble Alliance in the intermission. It's not fully stated, but I believe Rean chose to stay at Thors to hold on to that one last bit of what he gained during his time with Class 7, which was pretty much the happiest days of his life up to that point. Near the end of the epilogue, the old schoolhouse begins to change once more, and Rean and Class 7 decide to investigate it, just like they did in all of their previous free days, despite being told that it would return to normal if they didn't do anything. And after exploring the Reverie corridor within, they reach the top floor, and it is here where we reach the scenes that I am choosing for my One Miraculous Moment. Upon entering the final floor, Class 7 is met by a creature made of white shadows known as Loa Luciferia, who looks very similar to Loa Erebonius, who Class 7 had to beat in their trial in the last game. Loa Luciferia tells the class that he acted as a secret trial known as the Shadow Trial that was never really meant to be revealed. A distortion in the spirit veins caused by the war, the awakening of the Vermilion Apocalypse, and the battle between 3 Divine Knights led to the trial being activated. He assured them, however, that despite the trial being active, there was no real merit or reward to fighting him. There was no meaning to participating in the trial. It is then that Rean gives one of my favorite speeches in the series, saying that he doesn't care if there's nothing to be gained from fighting Loa Luciferia. Defeating him would be a fitting end to Class 7, and that was all the reason that he and the rest of Class 7 needed. It is then that Loa Luciferia responds with one of my favorite lines in the series.
Thou art possessed with a fine spirit.
This line means so much to me, because I think it encapsulates a key theme in the series, that being strength of spirit, especially in the face of seemingly insurmountable obstacles. After the battle, Loa Luciferia is defeated, and Class 7 get to breathe a sigh of relief. And it is then that Millium starts crying. This part hits hard for me because in one of her bonding events earlier in the game, she mentions that she has never once cried in her entire life. The fact that Millium, the person who is always positive and was basically sent to Class 7 to be a spy, is the first one to break is a beautiful realization of her character. The other members begin to cry as their allies watch on. All the feelings they had been bottling up, from their sadness at the class ending, to their frustrations at losing Crow, to even their gratitude for the memories they made together, all come out like water from a bursting dam. The scene then transitions to the end of the school year. The members of Class 7 are all going their separate ways. Emma is leaving with Celine to continue her witch training and to find Vita. Elisa is going to work at her family's company. Machias and Elliot are heading to Heimdall to specific schools for their fields. Eustace is returning to Breahard to become the acting head of his house and governor of his land. Lara is returning to her hometown to finish her training with her father. Gaius is returning to Nord. Sarah is bringing Fee into the Bracer Guild, and Millium is returning to the Intelligence Division. It's a bittersweet moment, but there is a different air about the members of Class 7. There's determination in their eyes now. After expressing their gratitude towards Sarah for teaching them, they each head off on their own paths in life, with Reen walking back towards the school, knowing that one day they will meet again. I chose this moment, well, 3 moments, because I think they exemplify something that I really love about this series and Class 7 as a whole. The battle with Loa Luciferia was meaningless in the sense that it had no tangible reward, and he didn't really pose a threat to the town. But it was so significant for Class 7. This was the push they needed to understand their path forward. It is from this encounter that they gain the resolve to find ways to steer the Empire onto a brighter path. It was this fight that led to their promise to reunite and challenge the many issues plaguing the Empire head on. It was this fight that steeled their resolve and strengthened their bonds as a class. And I think that last scene at the train station perfectly exemplifies the theme of bonds, which is at the core of this series. Even if Class 7 is apart, their bonds are never gone. Something like that is not so easily broken. And it is through these bonds that they can overcome the greatest of challenges and carve a third way towards a better future. And that is one of the many reasons why Class 7 means so much to me. And it is why they are, as a whole, possessed of a fine spirit. Thank you so much for watching. I didn't really write an outro to this video, so it's going to be a little bit off the dome. I just wanted to have another excuse to talk about this series that I love so much. And more Trails content is definitely going to be on the horizon and beyond the horizon. Sorry. For this channel in the future, don't worry about that. That's never going to change. And thank you once again to Yuuyuu. Huge shout out to him. He's great. Go subscribe to him. Like I said, he's a big positive impact on this community. He's always about spreading the love that we all have for this series. And despite him destroying my notifications on Twitter, I am forever grateful to have met him. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that. Go check out Yuuyuu's original video. And if you're thinking about hopping on this trend, I sincerely encourage you to do so. This is quite possibly the best time to be not only a Trails fan, but also a Falcom fan with all of this stuff coming out, like the Sky remake, the finally catching up with the Japanese release of the series, East versus Trails in the Sky. There's apparently a whole bunch of older East and Dragon Slayer games coming over to the West, or at least being ported to modern consoles, which would hopefully be an avenue to coming over to the West. Tokyo Xanadu too. Regardless, it's a fantastic time to be a fan of this series, and I really hope to see more attention and more love come to the series as it continues to grow. Anyway, thank you once again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.